Today we are going to be talking about Chapter 2, Section 1, Comparing, Ordering, and Rounding Decimals. So first we have a definition. A decimal is a number that is written using the base 10 value system, where a decimal point separates the ones and the tenths places. So right here we have the base 10 value system, and all of our 2's are going to be 1 or greater, in the ones place or greater, and then the 3's are all after the decimal point. So this is where your tenths, your hundredths, your thousandths, etc. will come into play. To compare decimals, we write the numbers in a column, lining up the decimals vertically. If needed, we write zeros as placeholders, and we compare from the left to the right. So in our first example, we're comparing 22 and 5 tenths to 22 and 5 hundredths. 22.5, and we add a 0 as our placeholder, compared to 22.05. We see that the ones place is the same and the tens place is the same, so now we focus on the tenths place. In our first we have a 5, and the tenth place in the next is a 0. Since 5 is greater than 0, our solution to this problem is 22 and 5 tenths is greater than 22 and 5 hundredths. In our second example, 30 and 12 hundredths compared to 30 and 4 tenths. 30.12 compared to 30.40 as our placeholder. The ones in the tenths place are the 1 and the hundredths are the same, so we focus on the tenths. We have a 1 compared to a 4. Since 1 is less than 4, our final solution is 30 and 12 hundredths is less than 30 and 4 tenths. To order decimals, we place numbers on a number line. So in our first example here, we want to order 2.11, 2.21, 2.06, and 2.24 from least to greatest. So we make our number line, and 2 and 0 tenths, 0 hundredths is going to be 2.0, where that's where we're going to start. Then we put our tenths place in here. So 2.1 is our first tenths place. And to separate it for the hundredths place, we add in 10 lines in between to stand for the hundredths. So when you divide a 10 by 10 times, you get 100. So 10 different spots in your tenths. So then we go ahead and label. Here's our 2.06, our 2 and 11 hundredths, our 2 and 21 hundredths, and our 2 and 24 hundredths. From least to greatest, we see that the numbers are 2.06, 2.11, 2.21, and 2.24. Also notice that our number line is going from least to greatest. To round decimals, finally, we want to look at the digit in the place to the right of where we're trying to find it. So if the digit is less than 5, we're going to round down, and if the digit is 5 or greater, we're going to round up. So in our first example here, we want to round the number to the nearest tenths. What I like to do is underline what we're looking for and then underline it again in the number. So if we're looking at the tenths place, I'm going to underline the tenths place, and when we want to decide what happens with the tenths, we have to look at the number to the right of that, so the digit in the hundredths place, the 2. And since the 2 is less than 5, we know that we're going to round down. So this 7.126 is going to round to 7.1. In our second example, we're going to round the number to the nearest hundredths. 34 and 152 thousandths is going to round up or down. Well, we look at the hundredths place and we underline it. Then we're going to underline the hundredths place in the number, And when we want to figure out what's going to happen to this digit, we look at the digit to the right. So we're going to look at a 5. Now 5 is equal to or greater than. So it's equal to 5, so we're going to round up. So we're going to round the 100th place up to 34.02. And that's it.